Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a GeForce RTX 3070 in Assassin's Creed Mirage. This one is the EVGA XC3 Ultra version of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers at the time of recording this video, and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power Ups. GPU resizable bar is also enabled, and it has 8GB of GDDR6. And over on the left, we're pairing it with the i5-13600K with the E-cores disabled because they still haven't fixed the stuttering that comes with enabling E-cores in this game. I also overclocked it to 5.6 GHz for that strong single-core performance, and over on the memory tab we're using 32GB of DDR5 6000 MHz RAM in dual channel. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's go over the settings first, guys. I'm playing at 1080p resolution to start this off, 100% resolution scale, and the ultra-high settings preset without motion blur and without the adaptive quality enabled, so we are at native resolution all of the time. Let's do this. Alrighty, here we have it, guys. Look at that lighting. It's actually pretty good, isn't it, my friends? Like, you can say that the game looks terrible overall, but the lighting is pretty nice. And I also don't think that it looks terrible. Anyway, let's start counting our FPS right here. It sometimes can drop from 100 frames per second, apparently. So that means that with the 3060 Ti, we tested it in a much easier area to run, I guess, because that GPU was hitting like 130 FPS in that other area. But still, this is pretty strong performance. It's also ultra high settings, and it's great, guys. At 1080p resolution, we still have that DLSS support if you want even higher frames per second, and DLSS works really well here in Assassin's Creed Mirage, so at least at like 1440p and 4K I would definitely utilize it. But at 1080p you can see that DLSS is a little bit softer, so I would just go for native resolution instead, guys. At native resolution there's nothing to worry about. As you can see, it gets well over 60 frames per second all of the time, and that back there was pretty much the most intensive area in the entire game. Also, it can still have some little frame time spikes sometimes, okay? A stutter here and there every like 5 minutes or so, but it's much improved compared to having the E-cores enabled on the Intel CPUs. Also, you will have some stuttering issues when coming across water in this game, which is very, very intensive as well. Well, there's a little bit of it here. We got a little stutter as well, but yeah, there's nothing to worry about. Overall, it's going to be a really smooth experience and super enjoyable one with the RTX 3070. Just going to get to the river part right there. Some other stutter. God damn it. Is it actually stuttering more this time around? I don't remember it stuttering this much. Over here is the river, and now we should be seeing, yeah, a ton of little stutters as expected. That happens with every configuration, actually. Even on AMD CPUs, it happens right here, you know, in this area. So it's just this area that's kind of broken, I guess, or maybe it's loading the shaders here. Anyway, it's not really game-breaking, is it? And overall, I still think this game is very well optimized. Let's stop it there, guys. 105 FPS on average is what we got with 70-ish 1% lows. And let's enable the DLSS on quality. And now we're getting around like 10 to 15 more frames per second than previously. And it looks just slightly softer, guys. I mean, you could even increase the sharpness a little bit and make it look basically like native resolution. It already looks really damn close to native resolution. It looks sharper as well than some titles at native resolution, especially in 2023, because a lot of titles these days are super damn blurry, you know, at native res with the TAAs and stuff, and this also uses TAA at native resolution, but it's not a bad implementation of it. So at 1080p resolution, once again, I see no use for DLSS in this particular title unless you want to achieve higher frames per second, of course, on a higher refresh rate monitor. It will feel a little bit better, you know, panning the mouse around and stuff. I am using 60 Hz right now because of the capture card. But yeah, you can definitely tell the difference between 100 FPS average and 120 FPS average, which is what we're closing in on. Again, it's just up to you. Do you prefer the slightly softer image with 20 more FPS, or do you just prefer the native resolution with 100 FPS? Both experiences are basically flawless, aside from the little stuttering issues that this game suffers from and every now and again, but now it seems like it has smoothed that out, actually. I think it's in this direction, the other area. If not, this is also a really intensive area, by the way, with a ton of NPCs. But yeah, if you have an RTX 3070 and you're playing at 1080p, this is basically flawless. And right here, yeah, sometimes it drops into the 110s, I guess. Not really a big deal, guys. It's smooth. It's definitely very, very smooth indeed. Gonna eat a little bit over here. Okay, so now we're seeing a lot more vegetation as well, which is intensive for a GPU to render, but no problems. As you can see, it's still well above 100 frames per second with 1% lows of 88. I don't think it has dropped that far. It's probably because of the little stutters that we saw previously. So yeah, overall, this is a high refresh rate experience, I would say, with DLSS enables. But let's stop it right there, guys, and let's try it at 1440p resolution next. I know a lot of people are playing at 1440p with the RTX 3070, and it still does a pretty good job if the games are optimized, which is the case here, so that's great. I'm just gonna set it to native resolution once again, and here we have it. Much sharper of an image than... Oh, there was an enemy there? Okay, shut up, okay, let's get out of here. Yeah, it's much sharper of an image right now compared to what we saw previously, for sure, especially at the DLSS quality and 1080p res. This... yeah, 1440p is just such a visual bump over 1080p. It's kind of crazy, actually. And if you are playing this particular title with the 3070, it does an amazing job, as you can see. We only lost, what, like 15 frames per second compared to 1080p resolution, native, and this is ultra high setting. Can I please go? Come on. Oh, my goodness. This is kind of clunky sometimes, as you could see there, right? Okay, anyway, I feel like we are approaching... yes, this is the area! Finally, I found it without the need to reload the game. This is great, my friends. It's the first time that has ever happened. Anyway, over here, instead of dropping into the 80s, of course, it drops into the 70s instead, but it's not even dipping into the high 60s. Okay, 70 FPS flat there, but yeah, we didn't really see 60s there, although the 1% lows say that it's at 63, but that doesn't really matter. It's just because of the little variations in the frame time graph which you can't notice whatsoever. This is a buttery smooth experience, and we haven't seen a stutter in a while as well, so that means that it was indeed just loading some things previously. Also, VRAM usage is under control. I think it's swapping some things into the RAM already, because sometimes I see like 10.5 gigabytes of RAM utilization in this game, and now it's at 11, almost 12. But the good thing is you can still have ultra-high textures in this game with an 8 gigabyte card without slowdowns, or at least if there is a slowdown, it's not really noticeable whatsoever, and it doesn't stutter like newer titles do whenever you run out of VRAM. Everything is okay. I want to see the water as well, which can be pretty intensive, dropping down into the 70s, lower 70s again. Kind of the same as the other super demanding area that we've come across. Let's just eat this and go in this direction. Come on, buddy. All right, no stutter. Even... so many guards after me, Jesus. Oh my god. That is terrible. Okay, let's try to go over here. Yeah, this is a lovely experience. Once again, guys, for a single-player title, you don't really need 100 plus FPS all of the time or a super high refresh rate, especially in a non-first-person shooter like Assassin's Creed. It works extremely well, even with like 60 FPS locked in. If you want to save a little bit of power as well, and not consume 200-ish watts of power, or like 190 plus here at 1440p, well, you can just lock it to 60, it will consume a lot less power, and it will be always a buttery smooth experience at native resolution. And I hope it continues that way, because they have announced the Avatar video game, you know, and half of the trailer, or at least the PC trailer, was talking about optimization. So it seems like developers are starting to care about optimization, at least Ubisoft is. 86 FPS average and 64 1% lows is what we got at 1440p native. But if you want an even smoother experience, well, DLSS quality is there for you. And once again, at 1440p, it looks fantastic, guys. It already looked great at 1080p. of course, at 1440, it will look even more detailed. And, I mean, I can still notice that it's a little bit softer, but it's not bad soft. You know, it's kind of like it was maybe slightly over-sharpened at native resolution, and now it's a little bit more realistic looking, I guess, in terms of like edges and stuff and jaggies and whatsoever. Like I can't really see any of them though. But yeah, in terms of over-sharpening, it looked like a Pixel 8 image. I'm also a smartphone nerd, you know, you could say. And previously with the TAA, with a 60% sharpness, it looked like a Pixel 8 image with a lot of sharpening and HDR and post-processing going on. And this looks like, what, maybe an iPhone image. It's not over-sharpened, it's pretty good, actually. I don't know why we're talking about phones. I'm sorry, guys. I've been thinking of upgrading my phone, but maybe that's not going to happen because I got a 7800X3D PC to buy. I was thinking maybe I should sell this 13600K PC and buy a 7800X3D PC because those chips are so much faster for gaming, you know? I think it makes sense, right, to buy one of those, and then I'll have the 7950X to render and edit on, and then 7800X3D for almost all of the GPU tests. Let me know what you guys think about that idea. What is that? I don't think that, yeah, this is not healing whatsoever. I thought it was. Where are we gonna throw this? There. Okay. Oh my god, I died. Oh, I killed myself. I thought it was going over the other guy. Alright, we're back here, my friends. I'm gonna start counting our FPS again, and now I know the way to the more intensive area, so we're just gonna get there quickly using DLSS. Here we are, guys. Lighting looking beautiful. I really like the God rays in this one. They're pretty much the same as Valhalla's God rays, but you know, the game looked great, Valhalla as well. And we're getting 80 frames per second, so about like 10 more FPS than what we saw without the DLSS enabled. Is it worth the trade-off? I mean, probably not, because the experience is basically the same, you know. But again, maybe the DLSS makes you have some peace of mind here while looking pretty good at the same time. This way you know that you will never drop even into the 60s, let alone the 50s. So, yeah, let's go ahead and increase it to 3840 by 2160, which is 4K. There we go, TAA native at 4K resolution. And here, well, the 3070 starts struggling quite a bit. The jump from 1440p to 4K in terms of performance is insane. You lose a lot of performance by switching to 4K resolution, especially on an RTX 3070. And yeah, now we're in the 40s. So we lost a ton of performance. Like what? We lost half of the performance, actually. That's insane. Okay, look at this. Down into the lower 40s at times, but it's not really touching the 30s. Oh, that's Bob. That's Bob. No, 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 no. I'm scared. I'm very scared of Bob in this game, my friends. We should not do this. I am gonna run away. Also, if you want to play at like high settings, you can achieve 60 FPS on average at least. And it will look very similar to this. So maybe we should try that out as well. But I think at 4K resolution, since the DLSS implementation in this game is quite good, you should just enable that, play on ultra high anyways, and enjoy the game with the best visuals possible. Because, again, a lot of people say it doesn't really look anything special, so lowering down the settings will make it look even slightly worse. Also, look at the RAM utilization. VRAM is completely maxed out, of course. It already was at 1440p native, but the RAM is at 13 gigabytes, which is not terrible. And again, we're not seeing any slowdowns, any stuttering issues because of the VRAM being maxed out, which is a breath of fresh air, my friends. Games used to be like this, actually. I played a ton of titles back in like, what, 2019, 2020 on 2 gigabyte GPUs, and they ran all right, even though we were heavily running out of VRAM in some cases. They weren't really stuttery at all. I mean, it's not 60 FPS, but it still doesn't drop from 40. It's it's definitely playable for Assassin's Creed. And now with quality DLSS, we are actually touching 60s. Oh my god. Let's start counting our FPS, guys. You know what's interesting? I'm here feeling like 60 FPS is actually quite good and very playable indeed, and most people do think that, but I've seen somebody in the comments today saying that, no, 60 FPS is terrible, you shouldn't settle for 60 FPS, or whatever. Like, huh? I mean, for a single-player title like this one, it's perfectly enough, my friend. What the hell are you on about? Oh boy. Anyways, over here, still in the 60s. It's not really dropping that much. That is impressive. Okay, I thought it was gonna drop into like the high 40s maybe around here, but no, it's holding it steady around 60 FPS, only dropping to like 57 at the lowest, with quality DLSS, which will look basically the same as native resolution. I think I can still see a little bit of more softness in the image. Hello, Bob. How's it going? I'm not gonna bother with you yet. Maybe at the end of the video, just to see if we can actually kill him. But not right now, okay? Not right now, for sure. Oh yeah, we gotta get to the water. Hello, hello, Bob, sir. How's it going? Just gonna roll around. Yes, that's it. That's it. Oh, there's water there. There's the water. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, tons of guards again. Please go. Gosh, Jesus, the freaking controls sometimes. I maybe should use like a controller or something. Also, dropping into the same values. Okay, dropping slightly more than in the other areas. So indeed, at 4K resolution, water is a little bit more intensive than that vegetation area. But it doesn't really change the experience by that much. Now let's try it with balanced FSR, and that should also make it 60 plus all of the time. Yeah, alright, there we go. Look at that. It's not dropping anymore, so if you want that 60 FPS experience all of the time at 4K, well, it's not really native 4K anymore, obviously. It's upscaled 4K, but it still looks very good. I would say it looks pretty much the same as quality DLSS here in this game. Well, you know what? I think I would actually play like this on a 4K panel, guys. Because you get all of the effects from the ultra quality preset, which looks very good. And you get 60 plus 100% of the time. Again, you could lock it to 60 FPS, enable VSync or whatever if you have a 60 Hz monitor at 4K, and just have a buttery smooth, flawless experience. Alright? It's gonna be that. It didn't drop even in the waters, so we already know it's gonna be really, really good. Oh boy, this is a blue Bob. Wait, let's go. Oh, I can't even hit the guy. Oh boy, no, never mind. Never mind. Their legs and back are vulnerable. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, that's probably enough of balanced DLSS. We already know it provides an awesome experience. I'm gonna turn it down to high and see what kind of FPS we can get on high settings and native resolution for those of you who prefer native res. Alright guys, look at that, 60s now at 4K high settings. Obviously at 1440p and 1080p you just get even higher FPS, which is not really needed, so I'm not going to be testing those resolutions on high. Well, it might still make sense to play at like 1440p high if you want to achieve higher frame rates and higher refresh rate experiences, but I mean, again, I really think you just should stick to the ultra-high preset since it already delivers a buttery smooth experience. And here at 4K resolution, it's getting 50s sometimes, dropping to like the mid-50s, I guess, 55, 54. Yeah, this is how much more intensive 4K is compared to 1440p, guys. And the difference from 1080p to 1440 in visuals is insane. You know, the difference from 1440 to 4K is not that insane, unless you are playing on like a 32-inch monitor or bigger. If you're sticking to 27 inches, I really think the 1440p resolution is the best res for that size. It's gonna look really sharp, and the difference between 4K and 1440p at 27 inches is pretty negligible in games at least. Anyways, guys, if you want that native resolution at 4K and you don't mind dropping dropping the settings a little bit. High settings still provides a great visual experience, and it's mostly above 60 FPS. It's only going to drop into the mid-50s if you come across those very intensive areas, of course. And now, let's play with DLSS quality, and it should give us 60 plus FPS 100% of the time. We were getting like 60-something frames per second at native res, and now we're up into the 80s and even 90s at times. Just gonna go down there to that intensive area again, guys. See if it drops, and if it doesn't drop, it's safe to assume that it won't drop anywhere else. Alright, there we go. Goodbye, sir. Good stuff. We killed 2 of them again. Let's see if I can find Bob in this one. Hello? Do not call for backup, my friend. Do not call for backup. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's continue here. I just want Bob. I don't need a ton of you around me. Only Bob. Oh, there he is. That's Bob, guys. That's actually Bob. Anyway, let's see the FPS first. Yeah, it doesn't even drop from 70 now. So, extremely smooth experience indeed. I don't know how Bob is so strong, dude. Look at that. Oh my god, he has throwing knives as well. Oh boy. There we go. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at how much health we actually took from him. That's cheating, by the way. That's cheating. That's cheating. The freaking throwing knives follow me around. Oh, that's terrible. All right, I need healing. There we go. I'm healed up a little bit. Oh, no, 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 no. No, do not heal. He did the same thing. We almost got him. If it wasn't for the healing, we would have gotten him, guys. But yeah, that's been it for this one, guys. 82 FPS average, 57 1% lows. Great optimization, decent visuals, and 3070 is putting on an awesome experience in Assassin's Creed Mirage. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.